For years my family joked I didn't belong after my parents' death. I found letters from my real mother that shattered everything I thought I knew about love, loyalty, and who I really was. All my life I was told I looked nothing like my family. It was a joke at first, light-hearted teasing from relatives during family gatherings, passed off as harmless banter. "You must be the mailman's kid," my uncle would chuckle, slapping me on the back. "No way you belong to this bunch," my aunt would add, shaking her head with a smile. Even my parents played along sometimes. My mom would grin and say, "We don't know where you came from, but we guess we'll keep you." I laughed with them when I was younger, brushing it off as nothing more than silly jokes. But as I got older, those words started to dig under my skin like tiny splinters. It wasn't just that I looked different. I felt different. My father was tall and broad-shouldered, with the kind of presence that filled a room without him even trying. My mother was petite, with delicate features and piercing green eyes. My sister, Claire, was the perfect mix of both my father's build and my mother's face. And then there was me, dark hair instead of blonde, brown eyes instead of green or blue, my skin tone a little warmer, my features sharper. Family photos made it worse. While they looked like a cohesive unit, I looked like the odd puzzle piece jammed into the wrong box. "You're adopted," Claire would tease, rolling her eyes at me when we fought as kids. "Mom and Dad just didn't want to tell you." She'd say it with a smirk, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. The scary part was, I sometimes wondered if she was right. Growing up, I buried those doubts under layers of denial. I convinced myself it didn't matter, that family wasn't about appearances. But deep down, the questions never left me. They grew louder in the quiet moments at night when I stared at my reflection in the mirror, or during family dinners when I noticed how my parents seemed to look right past me. My father was hard on me in ways he wasn't with Claire. If she forgot her chores, it was brushed off as a mistake. If I forgot mine, it was laziness, disrespect, failure. My mother, though less harsh, seemed distant, like she didn't know how to comfort me, like every hug or word of encouragement was forced. Sometimes, I caught her staring at me when she thought I wasn't looking, her expression unreadable, almost as if she were searching for something in me that wasn't there. I told myself it was all in my head, until the night everything came crashing down. My parents died suddenly in a car accident when I was 28. Losing them was surreal. One moment they were alive, the next they were gone, leaving me and Claire to pick up the pieces. The grief was overwhelming, but beneath it all was a gnawing sense of unfinished business. I never really understood my parents, never felt fully accepted by them, and now I never would. A few weeks after the funeral, Claire and I met at the house to sort through their belongings. The air was heavy with dust and silence, every corner filled with memories I couldn't fully claim. In the attic, I found a box labeled simply private. Inside, there were letters, dozens of them, tied together with twine, yellowed with age. My hands trembled as I untied the bundle. The first one was addressed not to my parents, but to me. The date on the envelope was from the year I was born. I unfolded it carefully, and my world shifted. "My dear son," it began, "I don't know if you will ever read this, but I need you to know the truth. You are not who you think you are. Your real father was a man I loved before I met your mother. I wanted to keep you, but circumstances made it impossible. So I entrusted you to them, hoping they would raise you as their own." The letter was signed with a name I didn't recognize, Eleanor. I read it 3 times, each word pounding into my chest like a hammer. Eleanor. My mother wasn't my mother. My father wasn't my father. I wasn't their child at all. I sat there, clutching the letter, my entire life unraveling in seconds. More letters revealed more truths. Eleanor had written to me every year on my birthday, pouring her heart into words she never intended for me to see, at least not while my parents were alive. She wrote about how much she loved me, how she thought about me every day, how she hoped I was happy even if she couldn't be in my life. She wrote about my real father, a man named Daniel, who had died before I was born. She wrote about how she'd begged my parents, her relatives, I realized with a jolt, to raise me, because she couldn't. They agreed, but under one condition, that the truth remained buried forever. That was why I looked nothing like them. That was why I always felt like an outsider. I wasn't their son. I was their obligation. When Claire found me sitting in the attic, surrounded by the letters, she froze. "You found them," she whispered. Her voice cracked in a way that told me she'd known all along. Rage boiled in my chest. You know, and you didn't tell me." She nodded, tears in her eyes. "They made me promise. They said it would destroy you." I laughed bitterly, shaking my head. Destroy me? They destroyed me by lying. My whole life has been a lie, Claire tried to explain, but I couldn't hear it. Every memory I had of my parents twisted into something ugly. Their coldness, their distance, their harshness, it all made sense now. They didn't love me because I wasn't theirs to love. I was a burden they'd taken on out of obligation, and they resented me for it. The weight of it crushed me. For weeks, I couldn't function. I avoided everyone, burying myself in the letters, desperate to know more about Eleanor. Eventually, I tracked her down. She lived 2 states away, older now, her once flowing handwriting shaky in the last few letters. When I knocked on her door, she gasped the moment she saw me. "You look just like him," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "Him, my real father." Sitting in her living room, listening to her pour out the truth, I felt both whole and broken. I finally understood who I was, but the cost was unbearable. I had spent my life craving love from people who were never truly mine, while the woman who had loved me from the beginning was kept in the shadows. When I asked why she gave me up, her answer was simple. I was young, alone, and scared. "They promised me you would have a better life. I thought I was doing the right thing. I never stopped loving you." Her words were genuine, but they couldn't erase the damage. I had grown up believing I didn't belong, and now I knew I was right all along. The truth destroyed the identity I'd clung to, leaving me adrift in a sea of questions. Who am I if not their son? Who am I if everything I thought was real was a lie? Some nights I dream about my childhood, replaying every moment through the lens of truth. I see my father's disapproving scowl, my mother's forced smile, Claire's knowing glances. And I wonder, did they ever feel guilty? Did they ever look at me and wish they'd chosen differently? Or did they resent me until the very end? I'll never know. What I do know is this: identity isn't just about blood or names. It's about the stories we tell ourselves to survive. For 28 years, I lived one story, only to learn it was false. Now I have to write a new one where I am not the invisible child, not the family joke, not the unwanted obligation. One where I am simply me. But some nights, when the silence is heavy and the letters sit like ghosts on my desk, I wonder if I'll ever truly believe that. Because the truth is, the damage has already been done. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this.